So I think we're good, right? Okay, cool. Hello, everybody. I hope the marathon has been good for you all so far. I'm TheTerrificTracy. I'm new here and very grateful to be on. This game, before I start, I just want to say a few things about it. This was Game Freak's first game, the people who made Pokemon. So, like, same team and everything. So, some of the music, some of the sprites may seem a little reminiscent of Gen 1, and a lot of people don't know about this game, which is a shame, honestly, because it's really great, and I recommend it casually. So, anyway, though, I'll talk about more as I get into it. Time's gonna start when I hit start here, so I'll just count down. 3, 2, 1, go. Alright, so, getting into it, things to know about this game: the story is different between the Japanese and US release, and so is the name. In Japan it's called Quincy, and in Japan the story is that this dude here, his name is Carton, and Quincy is his sister, and apparently, for whatever reason, she is very, very jealous of the time you've been spending with your girlfriend, I guess. I don't know why. And so she just kidnaps her. So now you gotta go through all of these palaces. I don't fully remember the details on that, but yeah. So anyways, there are, let's see, 10 palaces with 10 levels each. The first, oh gosh. The first couple or so have entirely different enemies with different AI and stuff, and I wanted to talk about them. The ones I've been dealing with here, they're called the Walkmen. They are the least intimidating. All they do is walk around, and they cannot kill you unless you walk into them yourself. Like, if they walk up to you, they will just stop. There's a lot of great details like that in this, but you will miss out on all of it in the run, sadly. Lots of other things to explain. Let's see, the mechanics. So, as you've been noticing, I've been slamming every enemy into the wall to defeat them. That's basically how this game works. There have been shockwave tiles, as I call them, that swoop up everything. I only used one once so far, though. The other thing I've been touching are sun tiles, which literally flip every other tile in the room. Okay, that should be your girlfriend. I actually forget her name, but yeah. Anyway, she's gone. So, I'll explain more as I get into this palace. This palace is called the Jumper one. All these enemies, they just jump around. They're a little tricky to hit, so I'm gonna try to do this right. Alright. I didn't explain it before, but these star tiles, what they do is every 100 or so you pick up. Well, actually, exactly every 100. They increase your speed, so that is actually very important to the routing, because I did not have any awareness on that when I first started running this. Yeah, that should be correct. So anyways, every 100 stars you get much faster. Well, not much, but it adds up, you'll see. So I try to plan that around the palaces I go through in order. But yeah. So I'm just gonna be clearing these rooms out, grabbing all these. So the jumpers are interesting because they're usually never in sync to be hit by these suns, but with the correct speed you'll be able to get them in some of the rooms. Important parts to this game are memorizing where all of these are, and then also executing. Dang it, that was a mistake. Alright, don't worry. This game, okay, it's really weird. I'm positive that there's no RNG involved, but the enemy AI, it is very difficult to work with sometimes. I'm positive they all work based on your location. So if you're a little off in positioning, you'll get a different result from some of the enemies sometimes. It's just, like, it'll just catch you off guard. But it's been good so far. This is technically the first boss fight, but this guy is not a problem, so yeah. Hopefully I've been explaining things well so far. Alright. This palace is the Artist Palace. These are honestly my favorite enemy in the game, casually, because all they do is they just walk around and they draw different kinds of drawings on the ground, and once they've drawn one, you cannot flip that tile. That's basically it. They don't even ever really attack you unless time runs low. But yeah. Another good detail about the game you won't see here, if you let the time run out, or not the time run out, but if you let all of the artists draw on every single tile, they'll all just fall asleep. It's pretty cute, honestly. Yeah, I know, I don't really want to hurt them either. When I play casually, I usually just let them fall asleep. But yeah. Another tile that we've seen once, but we'll see later some more, are respawn tiles, and they are pretty obnoxious. They do exactly what they sound like. If you kill enough enemies in the room, they'll start respawning on those tiles, so we want to try to cover those up as best as we can. Oh no. Oh my gosh. Well, that was a mistake I didn't expect to make, but you know what? We get to see some drawings, I guess. I flipped way too early there, and then I made a mistake trying to get them off the tile. Oh well. They'll just stop chasing me at some point and start drawing, and that's fine, I guess. Oh my gosh. I did not expect this kind of thing to happen, but... Oh gosh, these are the worst kind of drawings to get, though. These ones actually come to life. The rest of them don't. You have to kill them if they come to life. Alright. So that never happened. A lot of these rooms, they do not have friendly backups, but for the ones that do, I will try to be prepared for those. Alright, I played that safe. Yeah, having to improvise in a lot of these rooms is very difficult. Also, another thing, if you die, the positioning of where all the enemies are is entirely different from where they were when the room started initially. Also, that's great, this has already gone pretty bad. I messed up my movement, and so that enemy stopped there. And now they're just gonna keep drawing. Oh my gosh, stop. 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 Oh no, please. At this point, I feel like dying would be more worth it. I am terribly sorry. The lucky thing for these boss rounds is that if you die, they just restart entirely the same as they were. Yeah, this gets really rough. Okay, this is going a lot better. Alright. Well, that happened. We should be fine. Yeah, this is one of the best levels to let them all draw until they fall asleep. Now onto these guys. These are the acrobats. They also jump, but much differently from the jumpers. They just jump in place, usually. Oh, and these are some flippers. At least that's what I call them. We'll see some more of those soon. And there go some respawn tiles, but not anymore. Oops. Oh well. I always try to get that to stop on 10 stars because that's a really great way to get more stars. There we go. Alright. So yeah, these guys get a little annoying sometimes, but most of these rooms are very easy. Some of them, they'll walk towards you, and then they'll try to jump or something, and then others, they'll jump if you try to flip them, and so forth. I like how they, gave different types, to the same enemy. Like, there's at least 3 different variants of each enemy in the game, maybe more. I have not actually counted them all, but as you can see, the flippers there, and here, they will, they'll act as if you crashed them into the wall, but by using your body to do so. Oh my gosh, turn around. This game, it accepts inputs well, but if you rush them, it kind of, like, not necessarily drops them, but I guess it just can't choose one over the other. But yeah, so, I covered up all of the respawn tiles before I did that, because the old strat used to be just letting them spawn in and then dying, but I realized you save at least, like, I don't know, 5 seconds just covering them all. Now this next room is pain because as you can see there's only respawn tiles everywhere, so I gotta manage a way to deal with this, and hopefully this works. I'm gonna touch the sun. Okay, good. Sometimes the very last respawn tile will drop an enemy in, but good thing it didn't. Now, this used to be a very big pain until I learned how to do it right. These guys are very aggressive, and here's a cool thing you get to notice here. I can stand on the very edge of this tile and flip it as soon as they walk behind me, which is great, because that just perfectly exploits how they move. Alright, and now we're moving on to the next... This is the Plum Palace. These guys are plumps. They kind of act... I don't even know how to describe it, but if you shove them, they'll push you back by hitting the ground really hard. Alright. Now this room is a little interesting. This room is actually sometimes really inconsistent, and I could never figure out why. Like, sometimes the bottom plump would not walk up. And I only just realized, like, the other day when practicing this room as well, that it's the same AI behavior. If I kill one of these other plumps, then the other one turns. Like, they don't follow the same pattern. This is, like, they're the only enemies I know of, and only these two rooms where they behave differently depending on who you kill, and I was like, wow, that's really it, isn't it? It was just really bizarre. I don't know. But it has helped me figure out some more consistent methods through here. Oh, and in this room... There we go. I added a new strat that involves actually letting them hit the ground, so you flip all the tiles. Oh my gosh. Well, that one should have been closer to the wall, but it's all fine. I at least have to wait a second before touching that sun, or else one of them does not get flipped the correct way. And here we got some more flippers. Yeah, it's a new strat. It's, like, slightly faster than the old one, I don't know. I was just looking for any sort of optimizations I could have. This room is very tricky. Hopefully I do it right. I messed up. Oops. Oh well. Okay, just come on. No problem. Oh, now the next room, okay, this is going to be the first time we'll see Quinty. We're actually going to fight her. And something that's interesting about this strategy is that for whatever reason, if you play this game on emulator or on a flash cart, the game just crashes the moment she jumps over you, because I don't know what is wrong with the ROM, but it doesn't know how to handle that. So I'm playing on a real cart. I legit don't understand why that is the way it is on there. Whatever. This palace is the Ballerina Palace. They are not very threatening at all. Though they could be if I mess up, but that doesn't always happen. Oops. Oh yeah, hold on, I didn't explain something, but I gotta focus on this room. This room is the easiest to mess up. Okay, good. We're all good. So you may notice that these tiles that have the changing things, I always flip it to cover it, and that's because when you unflip it, it always starts at the same point, and that is perfect for getting 10 stars every time. Oops. There we go. Some of these ballerinas, if I let them demonstrate what they can do, they'll crash through, like, solid tiles. But yeah. The saddest thing about running this is that you don't get to see all of the nice behavior they gave the enemies, and also you don't get to hear the music that much. Yeah, some of them just crash straight through. These ones get really aggressive, but their pattern is pretty simple, so it'll be fine. Alright, no problem. That's pretty funny. Alright. The next palace is the Schwimmer Palace, and it is my least favorite. At least casually, this is a pain to deal with these enemies if you don't know where the sun tiles are, because all they do is swim around. And when they swim, they kick every tile behind them, and oops. For one, if they're approaching you, it's hard to push them back. And then if you're behind them, they just shove you around. It is very terrible. This next room, I added a new strat too. I'm gonna try to go for it. It only saves 3 seconds, but it loses like 10 if you mess it up. So that's like pretty fair risk reward, I guess. And it almost went well. Oh my gosh, stop. Well, he was supposed to get caught by that. I don't know why he didn't. Very interesting room. Alright. This next room is pretty, not too difficult, but pretty tricky. This used to be the only room in the route where you would actually go to a bonus stage because it was too painful to try to deal with this room normally. But no problem. That tile that flashes over there goes to the bonus route where you have to collect all the stars in it to go through. This room I hate because I kill myself in it sometimes on accident by running right into that one swimmer who jumps down, but all good. I approach it from the side now, so I don't do that usually. Oops, I almost died, but we're fine. This room is extremely cruel. Extremely cruel if you don't get that sun. And this fight is funny because if she ever turns you into a swimmer, you only have to stay here and then move, and that's it. Now, while I dislike the Schwimmer Palace the most, and it is pretty easy in the run, this next palace is the hardest to deal with, because these are the minis. I assume it's a play on the word mimic. They kind of look like you, and they only copy your actions, and in fact, they only move when you move, and the music also only plays when you move. So, yeah. They get very tricky to deal with, though, because they can flip tiles when you flip tiles. And in fact, this room, I tried to root this out better to actually kill all of them, but it gets so painful trying to deal with them that I'm just using this old strat because it's consistent every time. It's like, it's a tad slower than getting a good pattern out of the mimis, but if the mimis fail, then that's just, like, way worse, so I'm not gonna deal with it here. Those tiles there, they flip whichever direction they're facing when you touch them, so they're like the other shockwave tiles, but specific to that. This strat is kind of interesting. I almost ran into them. That would have been pretty bad. But so far, so good. This room used to be a very big pain until I learned something about it the other day, so no problem. The issue with this room used to be that they would flip tiles in a way that would leave more to respawn after I used the sun. But that's fine. This is the worst level in the game, hands down, because no matter what I do, everything goes wrong here. Like, I cannot find any form of consistency for this. I know what to do in case things go right, but they go wrong very easy. Luckily, that was not terrible. That went very well. This room is literally this. There is a strategy that involves, killing them without doing that, but it is not much faster, so I realize I'm just gonna go the easy way because it's very easy to die the other way. This fight... Okay, that fight can be annoying. If you're not lined up exactly right here, she can either land on top of you, or you won't be able to push her in time, and if she starts shoving you away, you're probably gonna die. But that's good. Now this is the middle palace. Every room here basically reuses all of the former enemies, but their AI is a little harder to deal with. But it shouldn't be a big problem here. I almost thought I missed that. I have been messing up this room a lot, but I'm glad that went well. Oh my gosh, my, okay. Oh, I missed my A input. Like I said, sometimes I just kind of do things a little too fast. I tried to press A and then turn very quickly, and I only turned, but no problem. I'm glad that did not go poorly. This room is kind of dumb because sometimes they will not come in here, and this is the most convenient way to kill them. So if they just walk around wasting time, that just kind of happens. I used to hate this level, but I realized something made this easier. I don't know why. If you walk up on the top here, when he jumps down, he'll stand up. Otherwise, if you're on the bottom, he will keep trying to swim. But the fact that I can make him stop makes it really easy to catch him. This room can sometimes be dumb, but it shouldn't be a problem. I just like count to 4 seconds, and then I start flipping to the left. Work. Okay, then I count like 2 more seconds, and yeah, that's fine. Alright, we're good. Coming up to the end of this, and then to the final palace, which is going to probably be a pain if things go wrong. It is literally the worst palace in existence. I know I talked about the swimmers, but yeah. So, I don't even know what the names of these enemies are, actually, because I never saw their Japanese name or their localized name. Speaking of, all the localized names for this game are terrible, so I don't use them, but anyway. I just call these guys the kickers, and they are real jerks. They will come at you very aggressively and just kick and kick and kick, and they'll try to shove you around. Or just walk into you. Yeah, I've had enough of this guy. Alright. There are effective ways to deal with these guys, but at least one room might give me trouble. Oh my gosh, that almost went poorly. Something I didn't mention, while the Japanese version also has a different story and name, some of the rooms are different, which is why it has a different board. I'm not sure if I'll learn it, because it is so different, it'll probably throw me off for running this version. But, we'll see. Okay, good thing that worked just fine. But yeah, I'll explain that later a little more, because one of these rooms in this palace are only in this version, and it is made up straight from hell, I swear. I don't know why they thought this was a good idea to add this level, but we'll see it. It's like it's the second to last one. Oops. Oops. Damn it. Okay. I flipped 3 times, I needed to flip 4 times. This should be fine though. Alright, this room can be scary, but no problem. They come at you so fast, if they start kicking you, it messes everything up. Okay. It's the room after this one. It is identical to this, except way worse. There are gonna be loads and loads and loads of respawn tiles under me. Okay, this level doesn't exist in the Japanese version. Don't ever touch a sun here, it just uncovers more respawn tiles, and it never stops. They just never stop coming. Okay, good, I caught him too. That is a little tricky to time, not exactly, but... Anyway, yeah, so... Everything I feared is over. We're doing good. This is the last level. Timing will end when Quincy hits the wall. I have no clue why they added that room. They wanted American players to suffer, I guess. But this is exactly the same as the Schwimmer Palace, so time's gonna be right now. There we go. Alright. Thank goodness. I have no clue what kind of time that got, because I did not run a timer myself. And I'm doing another run right after this. So, for a short treat between the two, I'm gonna let the credits play because it's really good. This music is really good. I got a 23-24. That's great, actually. I'm glad. The former record, before I took it was a 2329. I learned about this game through my friend who grew up with this when he was a kid, and I was like, wow, I'm surprised nobody heard of this before. But, that's nice. But yeah, these credits are lovely. Oh yeah, if you... Okay, I would love to do a two-player run of this, but I have nobody to do that with yet. But, in two players it would be an interesting run, because, you can flip your partner through others, and it'll actually crush them. But on top of that, they could probably help you clear out rooms that don't have suns everywhere, or something like that. I don't know. I have no clue how it would be routed. I know there's a task for this game, and it's only two players. Yeah, it's the only thing with a task, so, I mean, I guess that might be ideal to follow, I don't know. Unless if there's strategies I know now that could probably be better in it, but we'll see someday, maybe. But yes, this is, great Game Freak tunes here. And it might be a bit of a stretch, but I always felt like the end title here looks like a little bit similar to the way it looks in Pokemon Red and Blue, but probably not. Anyway, with that.